Peacemaker was one of the most pleasant surprises of the DCEU. I mean, Peacemaker as a character, I had never even heard of him before the Suicide Squad. I know that is the case for many people as well. We didn't know who he was, and now suddenly he's going to be in the Suicide Squad, and then he's getting his own spin-off on HBO Max. Just the idea itself sounded absolutely insane, but then we saw him in the Suicide Squad. He was a really interesting, intriguing character, and then we got this show, which was just a masterpiece. I mean, this was James Gunn at his highest, most peak level of storytelling. It was a great redemption story for Peacemaker, and just honestly, just a great DC comic show with references and cameos. I mean, the friggin' Justice League showed up, and it was raunchy, it was inappropriate, it was violent, it was perfect for what it was. And again, just nobody expected it, but it was one of, if not the best DC project in the DCU. And now, of course, James Gunn is moving forward with the DCU, and we know that things are going to be a bit more complicated because we are getting a Peacemaker Season 2, but as James Gunn has stated, as I talked about in my most recent video, nothing prior to Creature Commandos, which releases next year in 2024, will be canon. Nothing from the DCU will be canon. So Peacemaker Season 1 will not be canon, but we are getting a Peacemaker Season 2. So how is that going to work? Well, we still don't really know for sure, but James Gunn did kind of give us a bit of a clue, because you can see Darrell.Randall on I feel like this was maybe on Threads, asked, will season 2 of Peacemaker take place in the new DCU/new continuity, or will at least be addressed? And James Gunn replied with yes and yes. So it will be addressed, which is interesting because I think a lot of us kind of just assumed that it would just be, like, we would just be in the DCU. We wouldn't take the time to address that, oh, there was this different universe, now things are different. But no, apparently we are going to do that, and we're going to be doing that in Peacemaker, which honestly, it makes the most sense. Peacemaker is a very wild show. I mean, literally the first season, Peacemaker versus the Cow, this giant alien butterfly caterpillar thing. It was weird. It was crazy. There was a gorilla that got murdered with a chainsaw. Like, some weird stuff happens in this show, but I guess that makes it the perfect project to introduce this addressing of the new continuity. And now, that obviously brings up the question of, like, how is that going to work? And we still don't really know much about Peacemaker Season 2 at all. It could be a completely new story, or it could be a continuation. But Casey Walsh, who of course is a scooper we talk about fairly frequently on the channel, just put out a little bit of a teaser on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, in response to this James Gunn comment here about Peacemaker Season 2 addressing the new continuity, just with an image of Bat-Mite. Now, Bat-Mite in Peacemaker Season 2 would, I think, be the perfect way to actually introduce this new continuity and explain it very thoroughly, because, I mean, James Gunn loves Bat-Mite. He has made this very clear. He actually at one point wanted to make Bat-Mite a part of the Suicide Squad. I don't know if he was going to be a team member or the villain of the movie, but Bat-Mite is a character that James Gunn loves. And so for Bat-Mite to be a character in Peacemaker Season 2, again, Bat-Mite, very wacky, funky character, so Peacemaker kind of fits that whole vibe, so why not include him here? And for those who don't know who Bat-Mite is, I grew up on this character watching Batman the Brave and the Bold. He's, if you're familiar with Mr. Mxyzptlk, of course, classic Superman villain, he's very similar. He's like the Batman version of Mr. Mxyzptlk, except he's more of a villain, and Bat-Mite is more of an adversary. Like, whereas Mr. Mxyzptlk kind of does not like Superman, is kind of trying to cause trouble for him on purpose, Bat-Mite actually is Batman's #1 biggest fan. He's a fifth-dimensional imp with all these crazy magical superpowers, and he loves Batman so much he dresses up in his own little tiny costume of Batman, and he does things to basically manipulate the world and reality to be kind of the perfect display for his hero. Like, he will do things where he will use his magic to cause villains to show up or cause chaos or evil around Gotham City just so that he can get to see Batman in action. And it's really an interesting character. And again, this makes sense. Imagine if this is our explanation of the continuity change of why the DCU is a thing, is because you have a character like Bat-Mite who just wanted to reshape reality, reshape this universe, and give us the DCU from the DCEU. And it's all just so he can see more Batman. It could get really wild and really crazy. You could probably have some multiverse stuff going on here. It would honestly be pretty funny because, one of the things with the DCU is that we're going to have Batman the Brave and the Bold with an older Batman with the son Damian Wayne in the DCU, but we're also going to have Robert Pattinson's Batman going on at the same time. It would be funny if they actually get super meta and Bat-Mite references that and he's like, oh yeah, I did this on purpose so that I can see two different versions of Batman in action in live action movies at the same time. I think that would be pretty funny. I don't know if they'd go that far. But it's an interesting idea, and this is just a teaser that's been put out there by Scooper, so don't take this as confirmation or anything. But it lines up with a lot. I mean, James Gunn loves Bat-Mite, again, like I said before, and also there was a reference to Bat-Mite in Peacemaker Season 1. John Economos was talking about Bat-Mite and described who he was to Peacemaker, so I think it'd be pretty cool if Peacemaker actually faced off against Bat-Mite in Peacemaker Season 2. I think that would be perfect, it would be hilarious, and there's just a lot of a room for some funny gags with that. And again, what more of a James Gunn way to explain the new continuity of the DCU. So anyways, guys, I'm so excited for Peacemaker Season 2, especially if we were getting Bat-Mite involved here, because that just sounds so much fun, and I'm so excited for this. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about this possibility, this kind of rumor that we'll call it, that Bat-Mite will be involved in Peacemaker Season 2 and could be the reason for this new continuity within the DCU. So thanks for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I keep you up to date on everything goes on in the DC life.